Bold claim that I don't quite believe, considering Faraz and Brian were both very active in the heyday of online poker.
A lot of hands, though. He's only 25 years old. And now he looks down at ace 7 of diamonds with the button. And he has raised it to 300. Brian out. And Faraz Jaka with a real hand this time. Pair of jacks. And he's going to re-raise to $1 million.
Well, Scott, with a suited ace in position and plenty of chips, is going to make this call.
This could be a big pot. Pair of jacks. Let's see what happens. Another jack on the flop. Jack 7-3. 3 of a kind for Faraz.
And a dangerous flop for Scott, as he has second pair and the backdoor nut flush draw on a texture where he knows his opponent is going to follow through with a continuation bet at a very high frequency.
That is so true. And Faraz will do that. He bets 850, but with a huge hand, as we know. And Scott with second pair will make this call. We go in deeper. Turn card is a king of diamonds. Wow, now it gives a 4 flush to Scott on top of his 7s. But he's well behind with the 3 of a kind by Faraz.
And Faraz not slowing down. Gonna cut out a bet of...
Oh, it's all going in. The plaques, the chips. It's 1.6.
Scott's getting about 3.5 to 1 to make this call. I expect Scott to see a river. Not only does he have a draw to the nuts, but every now and then he has the best hand against something like ace-queen or ace-10 that's double-barreling.
Tough to get away from this. You want to see if a diamond appears. So he is making this call. We are going to the river. Can the chip leader hit his diamond and crush Faraz? No, it's another king. So just jacks full for Faraz.
All in.
And he's going to go all in.
Faraz has announced all in.
Scott is just saying, I didn't get there. I got my measly 7s, but is it possible this guy could be bluffing all the way like this? Should I put the extra money in?
Yeah, and there's not that many hands that Faraz is going to run this triple barrel bluff with, and some of the combinations he's likely to do it with are stuff like ace-10, ace-queen of diamonds, ace-5 of diamonds. So with Scott holding the ace of diamonds, he actually blocks a lot of the potential bluffs that Faraz could have.
But he's going to take extra time. He might just want to make the hero call here. We've seen that before.
So Scott goes away.
Finally does the right thing, and Faraz Jaka picking up a big one against the chip leader.
Turn your World Poker Tour dreams into reality at clubwpt.com. Sign up for free today using bonus code YT33 and get a free entry into our next WPT main event qualifier.
Dennis looking down at ace-8 offsuit. Looks like he's going to raise this up to 85.
Toby going out. Derek Walters from Tempe also out. And the Irishman, well, he's got the ace-jack now. Not suited, though, and he will just make the call.
Heads up between these two again, and it is jack, 4 deuce, 2 clubs. Pretty ideal flop for Mark's hand.
Top pair, biggest kicker. And he's got Dennis betting with nothing.
I think against many opponents, Mark would check raise. Against Dennis, he might lean a little more towards calling due to Dennis's tendency to double and triple barrel.
That's what he's going to do this time. He's just going to call it, trying to trap his man. And it only gets better as an ace hits. That gives aces and jacks to Mark and aces for Dennis.
Perfect turn card for Mark.
All right, Mark's going to check and just lead him out into the trap. And Dennis, he is going to bet again.
Mark. Again, he'll have a decision between calling and raising, as there's now 2 flush draws out there, numerous straight draws. Mark going to go with a call, so the slow play continues.
Slug.
He just calls going to the river, and a beautiful 6 of hearts on the river.
Yeah, Great looking card for Mark. It does complete 3-5, but outside of that,
Oh, he's checking again, and Dennis is going to bet again, 200.
it's a pretty small bet. You bet 200 into 700, so I would be surprised if Mark doesn't finally raise in this hand.
Clock is ticking down.
650.
There's the raise. Set up his man beautifully. It's an additional 450. Now will the Cincinnati kid get the memo or not?
That's your seconds.
We've seen Dennis make a lot of bets, but he hasn't been a calling station tonight. Maybe he can get away from this one as the action clock ticks down.
Sick click back.
Would be a beautiful thing if he could, and he's going to make a beautiful laydown at that point. So the Irishman is going to take a big pot off of Dennis, the Cincinnati kid.
Brian Hastings, sitting on the short stack. He was recently our chip leader, but he lost a very big flip to Joey Cowden.
That is right, Brian Hastings, very famous young professional player with Queen Jack, has raised it to 350. Faraz goes out, and now Joey with a Queen 10.
4.5, yeah.
Started with like 5, a little over 5.
Well, there's a sign of a table full of professionals. Everyone knows exactly how much they're playing all of the time. So Joey makes this call.
The raise from Brian. 2 players will see the flop.
Go into the flop, dominated by Brian's Queen Jack, and unfortunately for Joey,
Check.
he hits a hand that is going to cost him some money if he can't find a 10.
Wow, Queen 6-3. They both have queens, but Hastings, of course, with the better kicker, and he'll bet 300. Joe Poker makes the quick call, perhaps thinking he's in front. And we are going to the turn. It's an 8 of hearts, doesn't change anything.
Not a very impactful card on the turn, though it does add a few draws in the form of 9-7, 9-10, Jack-10, but Joey, with a 10, has a blocker to some of those draw combinations.
Brian's bet 850. He would love to take a chunk out of Joey's chip stack at this point, and yes, he's going to get the action he wants. Let's see if anything crazy hits on the river. No, it's a 3, which is just terrific for Brian Hastings. He's got queens up with a better kicker.
2.3 million.
Wow. Oversized bet of 2.3.
Yeah, big bet from Brian here, firing 2.3 into 3 million. Joey seems to sense that something is wrong here, despite a fairly safe run out for his hand.
Nice 1.5, 1.6. Probably be called pretty quickly, but now the action clock is ticking down.
Joey has requested time.
I think Hastings wanted the oversized bet to make it look like a potential bluff. You can't think that this man can lay this hand down. But he's going to do it. It's just a beautiful laydown.
Wow, tremendous fold from Joey. He has played such a disciplined game at this final table.
Modest Sabalas, 10-8 of spades. He will raise to 25,000. And the Frenchman folds. Darren Elias also folds. Waxy out, and now Nick Schulman with a 9-10. He will make the call.
And as it turns out, he is dominating Modest in this hand.
King 9 deuce on the flop. That's great for Schulman. He's going to check it. But Modest will make the continuation bet of 20,000. Call by Nick with the 9s. Here we go to the turn. It's a 6. So that gives a straight draw now to Modest. Nick's going to check the 9s.
And Modest has picked up a gut shot, but elects to check here.
Yeah, hoping to get lucky. And he does so with the 7. What a card! Modest hitting this straight. Nick's going to check. Try to get in cheap here.
And now the question for Modest is bet sizing. There's 105,000 in the pot. If you think your opponent has a king, how much will he call? If you think your opponent has a 9, how much will he call? Well, what is it you think he has?
Oh, wow, look at this. A little trickery here. Modest is going to take some more time like he doesn't know what to do.
I wonder if it'll work. I'm not sure if Nick will really buy that. as him needing more time to consider this, or think it's sort of a play at him.
95,000? That's a pretty big bet.
I'm not sure what I think of a bet that size. I don't know if that makes Nick more or less likely to call with second pair. It's going to depend on his read here. He's bet close to full pot. I'm not sure how Nick will interpret this. He is going to authentically use a Tom Big chip.
He's saying, is this guy stealing? No, he believes him, and it's a nice fold by Nick Schulman. Darren Elias with King, Queen of Hearts, though. He is the chip leader, 4-time champion, and he will move it up to 35,000 to go.
And I would not expect Darren to return very much of Matt's table talk.
And Matt Waxman, poker pro out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Tough player, has a miserable looking 10-6, but will make this call.
Just enough hand to take a flop in position when you're in the big blind, and flop an open-ended straight draw.
But Darren hits top pair, and he's going to check it.
Yeah, I like this check from Darren. That's a board where you don't really want to see a lot of money go in when you have one pair.
Matt Waxman, open-ended, will bet 35,000. Elias, will he get tricky and re-raise here? Top pair, straight draw possibility, and he will just call it. Here we go. Good pot. Turn is an 8 there. Waxman hits his straight.
Darren now needs a 10 in order to seize this hand from Matt. Otherwise, his straight to the queen is going to be good and take down some chips here.
Waxman, he could check it and play it tricky, but no, he's going to put the chips out. 85,000.
And I don't expect Darren to fold yet. He still has top pair with the gut shot, and your opponent can have a lot of hands in the big blind that see a flop here. Whoa.
Gonna make this fold.
That was surprising. I guess Darren wins WPTs by seeing through people's cards. Jeez.
Guess I got the unlucky one. I guess I got the unlucky one.
Well, look at this pair of kings. He's on a rush right now. He's got the momentum. He's got the big hand. Lives an hour away from this casino. Comes here every day, he says, and then he fishes.
350.
Yeah, very cool to make a big final table at your home casino.
He's made it 350 with the kings. Let's see if he can get the whale to bite again.
Well, Coway has a sweet hand in the big blind. We definitely want to see a flop here in his shoes.
Big moment for this man, the local Miguel. And he's got a great flop for him because a 9-6-4 that gives nines to Coway.
Well, this could be a trouble flop for Coway.
550.
Miguel is going to bet on the bigger side, 550.
Yep, he's trying to rep like he has an overpair.
So Coway should definitely call here, but there should be alarm bells going off in his head that a tight player is betting big on a coordinated flop.
Subo.
And what is this? Oh no. Oh, hold me back, Vince. This is, I can't even.
Well, he doesn't believe him.
All in.
He's making a move, and now he's going to find out what happened.
Coway has turned top pair into a bluff.
¿Qué hizo? Yo veo ganando.
Paga y ve enseguida. La vas a ver. Porque si no, no te la muestro.
Nah, hizo los ojos.
And Miguel is doing everything he can to broadcast the strength of his hand.
4-6-25. Tengo un poquito
Ni
más.
ni yo sabía que tenía tanto.
Tengo un poquito más que vos.
The clock is ticking down to 4 seconds for him to make a decision. He's going to buy more time.
Coway calls this off. I'm walking out of the room.
He'll basically be almost broke. And finally, he does the right thing. Does he? Yes, he's going to lay that down. Here we go. Jonathan Jaffe looks down at a king 9.
280.
Makes it 280,000 to go.
And look at this.
Whoa.
Rotherham has picked up 2 queens on deal number 1.
He's got the real hand. The ladies
Raise.
just can't beat that. He will raise, of course.
He puts his hand on his chin like he didn't know what to do. Obviously he knows what to do. It's to raise here in this spot. 770,000.
And Jonathan's not going anywhere. The 27-year-old making this call.
And a king right on the flop. It's come king 6-5, 3 hearts.
Jonathan hitting kings.
Even though he got outdrawn, Rotherham also has a flush draw now with his 2 queens, but he checks. But Jonathan with the best hand with 2 kings.
430.
430,000 to bet. Rotherham checked that flop, Vince. I don't know how you check that flop with 2 queens and a flush draw.
Okay, and Rotherham will call this. Going to the turn. It's another king. So now Jonathan 3 of a kind.
Check.
Again, Rotherham checks the queens.
860.
860.
860,000 now to bet.
Yeah, just building a pot.
Vince, I don't know how you get away from queens here. And he's not. He's making the call.
Now you got to call that one, that's for sure. Here we go to the river. Will it be a heart? No, it's an ace of spades.
Well, again, Rotherham checks.
1.2.
And Jonathan gonna plunge away once again with a bet, 1.2 million.
Well, now you're fearful your opponent was betting the ace of hearts, and now he's made 2 aces to beat your queens. If in case he doesn't have a king in his hand.
That is true, but there's a lot of money in that pot. The flying saucer can sense it. Thinking this through. This would be a nice getaway. And yes, he's got to do the right thing. Folds the hand.
So Jonathan Jaffe increases his chip lead